You can do whatever you want and spend your money on whatever you want. But I can tell you right now, I can tell you in 1 minute how to lose weight and get fit. Hey there, Coach Devin here. Okay, so somebody asked me today online. They said, Devin, can you tell me a little bit about the Bulletproof diet? And to be honest, I don't know a ton about the Bulletproof diet, so I did some research and I looked up some things on the Bulletproof diet. I'd heard about Bulletproof coffee. I knew there was a diet attached to it. Didn't know a ton about the Bulletproof diet, so I spent some time today reading up on the Bulletproof diet. I'll be honest, I'm a big fitness geek. I love everything about fitness and how it works. I've been doing this job I've been a trainer now for 28 years. I've owned a gym for 12 years. I've been doing this for a while, and this is the stuff I get off on. I enjoy it, right? It's kind of cool. It's interesting. So I'll look up stuff that you probably won't want to look up and read about things you're probably not all that interested in, and then boil it down and make it real easy in a video for you so you can watch it. Before you go and please hit that like, the heart down below. Please subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends. Hit the bell on the other side. It lets you know when I make a new video. And comment. And if you have questions, comments, things you want me to talk about, comment. It helps the algorithm. I'd like more people to see the stuff I do because I try to give good, honest, scientifically based information about health and fitness. That's what I love. That's what I like to do. All right, Bulletproof Diet. Dave Asprey is the creator of the Bulletproof Diet. I didn't know much about Dave. I read up some stuff on him today. Bulletproof Diet is basically, it's kind of a conglomeration of a couple different diets stuck together. Okay, that's kind of how it works. It's a conglomeration of a few things. So it uses a little bit of intermittent fasting, which means you only eat for a certain window of the day. It uses a little bit of keto, which used to be called Atkins back in the day. I'm old enough to remember when it was called Atkins. That means in keto and Atkins, they believe that carbohydrates are terrible and bad for you. That's their feeling. And then he uses a little bit of Paleolithic diet in there too, to make a whole bunch of claims about how he has found a hack to change the world and change everybody's life, and this is going to be the new thing. Now, before we get into all that, I just want to make a point here for everybody. Anybody that's watching, this is important. So pay attention. This is super important. Anybody can make a diet, okay? And any diet will work, provided you eat fewer calories than you burn off in a day, you will lose weight. That's how it works. There's no, I don't know, like scientific hack, new cool thing, new science, whatever. That's all bullshit. That's what the health food industry and people like Dave do to get you to buy their stuff. That's how it works. People do this to make money. I'm respectful of people making money. Capitalism, fine, okay, that's cool. But what they do is they pitch out a whole bunch of stuff that isn't real, and they try to sell you shit, right? Atkins did it. Keto does it. Bulletproof does. Every diet does it. Okay, and every diet, when you boil it down, it's calories in, the calories you take in versus the calories out, which you expend in a day. That's it. That's it. Period. So anybody who's coming out with a new like hook and this and that and everything about diets, remember they're using the same science. They're just packaging it differently for you, so you will want to buy it. They're just trying to get you to buy shit. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind. Look, I would make a lot of money if I lied to people and made up my own diet. Okay, I would. I could make up a whole Devin Sherrington whatever diet and claim it did all these things and show people losing a bunch of weight and everybody go, wow, look at that, that's amazing. And maybe that's what I should be doing, is making a diet up, because I tell people how to eat all the time and help them with eating all the time. But you know what? I have a problem with packaging something and lying about it, because my parents taught me a little better than that. And I feel like I have to sleep at night. Maybe it's not going to make me a millionaire, but you know what? At least I'm honest and I'm straightforward. All right, so let's get into the Bulletproof Diet. Bulletproof Diet, like I said, it takes a little bit of intermittent fasting, takes a little bit of keto, and takes a little bit of paleo, and kind of conglomerates them all up and pitches out something called the Bulletproof Diet. The idea of the Bulletproof Diet is basically for 5 days, you eat a low-carb diet. So you're on a low-carb diet, high-fat, medium protein, low carb diet, and then for 2 days you refuel on carbohydrates, and then you start the cycle again. That's basically what it is. It also limits the amount of time you eat during the day, because that's a hack, and he's trying to use the intermittent fasting portion of it. So basically he's taking keto, intermittent fasting, and jamming them together, and then throwing in a little bit of paleo, which is saying, oh, let's eat like our ancestors ate, and that's all going to work. So a few points. Number one, our ancestors didn't live that long. So when everybody's saying, oh, the paleo diet is the greatest diet in the world, our ancestors did not live that long. We're living to 80 and 90 years old now. Our ancestors were living to like 40. Right? That was old. I would be ancient if I lived 500 or 600 years ago, probably. So why do we want to do a diet like paleo that says, let's eat like our ancestors? Well, but they weren't living a long time. It just doesn't make any sense to me, number one. Number two, intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is not a scientifically based anything. It's just taking the amount of time you can eat food and condensing it so that you don't eat too much. It really is just a little hook so that you don't eat as much food. It's basically saying to you, hey, and you know what? Sorry to all the people who would like to intermittent fast and are going to claim that this is great and I'm an idiot. All it's doing is it's saying you're not smart enough to control your food during the day because you're so out of control. So we're going to take the 24 hours, we're going to jam it down to a small window because you can't eat enough food in that small window to get fat. It's basically what it is, right? You cut down the amount of time you can eat to a very small window because you can't eat enough in that time to gain weight, so then you're going to lose weight because you're taking in fewer calories than you're expending during the day, and it works to lose weight. Does it work? Yeah, sure. Love motorcycles. I love motorcycles. Does intermittent fasting work? Yes, it does work, but it's also, for the most part, pretty shitty. It's a pretty crappy way to live because you only eat in certain times, and in reality, you're going to do that long term. No, you're going to go on vacation. Oh, I can't eat until noon or 1 or 2 or... You know, in reality, there's no magic window for when you can eat. It's like when people say to me, Devin, I don't eat after bedtime. Or after bedtime, I shouldn't have said that. After supper, I don't eat any food past 7:30 at night. I'm like, your body doesn't care when you eat your food. Does not matter. I have a snack at like 9 o'clock at night. I don't think I'm horribly out of shape. I can walk around with abs all day and I still have a snack at night. It doesn't matter when you eat your calories. It's how many calories you eat. All right, then on the keto side of it, he's taking keto. And the problem with what Dave has done with the Bulletproof diet and keto is this. Keto, the whole idea of keto is this. You eat no carbohydrates, basically. Very, very few to none. No carbohydrates. Your body burns energy and uses energy based on carbohydrates, which it turns into glycogen in your muscle cells, and fat. Okay? That's how it works. If you cut out all the carbohydrates, number one, you lower substantially the number of calories you're getting in the day because it's hard to eat a ton of fat and protein. You fill up. So since you fill up, you'll eat less food. Again, the same thing I said before, calories in versus calories out. It's just a hook to get you to stop eating so many calories. That's number one. Number two, the whole idea is to get your body into ketosis. And ketosis means that you are now burning fat for fuel. Okay, so it's kind of, everybody thinks, oh, that's a great idea, right? I'm going to burn fat for fuel. Okay, first off, it's kind of a hard thing to do. It's tough to get to that point. You feel kind of crappy. Having done it before, not a lot of fun. You get a little dizzy. You feel kind of crappy. It's a lot of stuff. Number two, it takes between 2 and 4 days to get your body to ketosis, okay? Between 2 and 4 days. Now, Dave, on the Bulletproof diet, has you eating basically no carbs for 5 days, and then you have 2 days of refuel on carbohydrates. Interesting thought. Best case scenario for Dave, that means you're only really going to be in ketosis for 3 days. That's the best case scenario. I guess what you would call magic of keto diets is that you're burning fat for fuel, which means, you know, it works better. So if you're only in it for 3 days out of a week, how well is that going to work? Number one. Number two, if that's the best case scenario, the worst case scenario would be that you were only in it for 1 day because it took you 4 days to get to ketosis. Means you only are in ketosis for 1 day, and then you're back out of it because as soon as you have a carb, you're out of ketosis. Your body's now not burning fat for fuel anymore. Specifically, now your body always burns fat for fuel to an extent, right? Some fat, some carbs. Your body stops burning only fat for fuel. It's now burning carbs again because you're loading carbs, and that doesn't make sense, right? The whole point of keto is that you're in ketosis long term, not that you're in ketosis between 1 and 3 days. Doesn't work. Doesn't make sense. So that the science on that is ridiculous. And the third part of it, I guess I would have said number two already. The third part of it that is problematic for me is you go 5 days of low carb. When you start to eat carbohydrates, you're going to probably overeat because you haven't had carbs in a while, which means you're probably going to wreck any positive you got in those 5 days. You're going to probably wreck it in the 2 days where you just eat your face off because that's the way people are. The whole issue with keto, and the reason keto doesn't work very well, is you can lose weight on keto, sure. But then as soon as you start eating carbohydrates again, you're going to gain it all back. So you're losing that 20 or 30 pounds. You lose it, gain it, lose it, gain it, lose it. You're like on the hamster wheel all day long. Doesn't make sense. So what he's done is he's taken 3 diets that really are not the greatest call diets in the world. Jam them all together and call it the Bulletproof diet. Now, it has a cool name. Who wouldn't want to be bulletproof? I like the idea of being bulletproof myself. It sounds pretty cool, right? Who wouldn't want to be bulletproof? But the Bulletproof diet itself, it really doesn't work. What you need to do, guys, is change your relationship with food. I'm going to preach this real quick because everybody needs to hear it. You need to change your relationship with food. It's actually pretty simple. No food is really bad for you. Too much food is bad for you. Not enough exercise, that's bad for you too. How do you fix this problem? Well, you know what? Track the food you're taking in the course of a day. Track it. MyFitnessPal, free app. Make sure that 30% of your total calories are in protein, and make sure you're eating fewer calories than you're expending, and you will lose weight. It is that simple. I really should write some book and give it a cool hook and a name and stuff like that and make a bunch of money. But again, like I said, my parents taught me a little better than that, and I don't like the idea of lying to people and scamming people to make money. That's not my thing. I like to be honest. But what I just told you right there, that sums up everything. That sums up all of it. That's dieting right there in like less than a minute. People are making millions and millions of dollars selling you crap and baloney, and I literally just wrapped it up in 1 minute. Look, you can do whatever you want and spend your money on whatever you want, but I can tell you right now, I can tell you in 1 minute how to lose weight and get fit. 1 minute. You can spend a ton of money on fitness. You can spend a ton of money on diet plans. And I can tell you right now, none of them will work if you're not following those simple procedures, which is eat fewer calories than you expend in a day. Make sure you have a good training program that suits your needs. It's that simple. It is literally that simple. If you have comments, questions, things you want me to talk about, write them up down below. I like doing videos like this because it's fun, and I get to talk about the stuff that I really, really enjoy. Hope everybody has a great day. Don't fight the awesome.